Dodge has been hiding something from you for decades. While you were buying Challengers and Chargers off the lot, they had garage queens sitting in their secret facility that would make your current ride look like a grocery getter. These weren't just concept cars gathering dust. These were production-ready beasts that got the axe at the last minute. And brother, when you see what they kept from us, you're gonna be pissed. If you're as fired up about these hidden gems as I am, smash that like button and let's dive into automotive history's biggest what-ifs. Listen up, car guys. What I'm about to show you is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about Dodge's decision-making over the past few decades. These aren't your typical concept cars that were never meant to see the light of day. No sir, these are fully functional, production-ready machines that Dodge actually built, tested, and then decided to keep locked away from us regular folks. We're talking about cars that could have rewritten muscle car history, trucks that would have dominated the compact pickup scene, and sports cars that could have given the Europeans a run for their money. But for reasons ranging from corporate politics to plain old cold feet, Dodge decided we weren't ready for these beauties. So buckle up, because we're about to take a ride through the graveyard of automotive excellence. Number 10, the 1984 Dodge M4S Turbo Interceptor. Let's kick this off with something that sounds like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie, because it literally did. The M4S Turbo Interceptor was Dodge's answer to the question nobody asked. What if we built a car that looks like it belongs in the year 2050? This wasn't some Hollywood prop car, folks. This was a fully functional mid-engine supercar that Dodge actually built and tested. We're talking about a machine with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine mounted behind the driver, wrapped in bodywork that looked like it was designed by aliens who really understood aerodynamics. The M4S featured gull-wing doors, a digital dashboard that would make a fighter pilot jealous, and performance numbers that could hang with the best supercars of the era. But here's the kicker. After building this technological marvel, and even letting Hollywood use it in The Wraith, Dodge decided the American market wasn't ready for a mid-engine sports car.
Looking back now, with the success of cars like the Ford GT and the new Corvette, you have to wonder what Dodge was thinking.
This could have been their halo car, their statement to the world, that American engineering could compete with Ferrari and Lamborghini. Instead, it became a footnote in automotive history. Number 9, the 1997 Dodge Copperhead. Now, here's where things get really frustrating, gentlemen. The Copperhead was Dodge's attempt to create an affordable sports car that could bring Viper performance to the masses. Think of it as the Viper's little brother, still venomous, but without the six-figure price tag. This beauty packed a 2.7-liter V6 engine and weighed in at just 2,650 pounds. That's lighter than most modern compact cars, and with rear-wheel drive and a proper manual transmission, it would have been an absolute riot to drive. The styling was pure early 2000s aggression, low, wide, and mean-looking enough to make Corvette owners nervous. Dodge built a fully functional prototype, tested it extensively, and even had the production line mapped out. But then, corporate bean counters got involved. They worried it would cannibalize Viper sales and decided to pull the plug. What they didn't realize is that they were throwing away their chance to compete with the Mazda Miata and BMW Z3 in the affordable sports car market. The Copperhead could have been the car that got a whole generation of young enthusiasts into the Dodge family. Instead, those buyers went to Mazda, Honda, and BMW. Talk about a missed opportunity. Number 8, the 1999 Dodge Charger RT. Hold on to your hat, because this one's going to hurt. In 1999, Dodge had a fully functional Charger RT prototype ready to go. This wasn't the 4-door sedan we eventually got in 2006. This was a proper 2-door muscle car that would have brought the Charger name back to its roots. The 99 Charger RT was built on a shortened version of the truck platform, giving it the kind of solid foundation that muscle car guys respect. Under the hood was a naturally aspirated V8 that would have delivered the kind of torque and sound that makes grown men weep with joy. The styling was aggressive but respectful of the original Charger's legacy. It had the right proportions, the right stance, and most importantly, the right attitude. this could have been the car that bridged the gap between the classic muscle car era and the modern performance renaissance. But Dodge got cold feet. They worried about competing with their own truck sales and decided to shelve the project. When the Charger name finally returned in 2006, it was as a 4-door sedan. Don't get me wrong, the modern Charger is a great car, but imagine if we'd had 7 extra years of proper 2-door Charger production. Number 7. The 2001 Dodge Super 8 Hemi. Speaking of missed opportunities, let's talk about the Super 8 Hemi. This was Dodge's attempt to create the ultimate American luxury performance sedan, and brother, they nailed it. The Super 8 was powered by a modern interpretation of the legendary Hemi 5.8, producing power numbers that would have embarrassed the German competition. This wasn't just about straight-line performance, though. The Super 8 featured advanced suspension technology, luxury appointments that rivaled Cadillac, and styling that was both elegant and muscular. It was Dodge's answer to the BMW 7 Series and Mercedes S-Class, but with that distinctly American flavor that European cars just can't replicate. The prototype was fully functional and underwent extensive testing. Road testers who got behind the wheel came away impressed with both the performance and the refinement. This could have been the car that established Dodge as a legitimate player in the luxury performance market, but once again, corporate politics intervened. Chrysler was going through financial difficulties, and the Super 8 was seen as too risky, too expensive, and too far outside Dodge's traditional market. The project was canceled, and Dodge retreated back to their comfort zone of trucks and muscle cars. Number 6. The 2002 Dodge M80. Now, let's talk about a truck that could have changed everything in the compact pickup market. The M80 was Dodge's answer to the Ford Ranger and Chevy S10, but with a twist that would have made it the coolest small truck on the market. The M80 featured aggressive styling that looked like someone had shrunk down a full-size Ram and given it a shot of steroids. The proportions were perfect. Not too small to be useful, not too big to be impractical. This was a truck that could haul your gear during the week and look good parked outside the sports bar on Friday night. Under the hood, Dodge planned to offer a range of engines, including a turbocharged 4-cylinder that would have delivered both performance and fuel economy. The interior was designed with the same attention to detail as their full-size trucks, meaning you got real truck capability without sacrificing comfort. The M80 made it all the way to the production-ready stage. Tooling was ordered, suppliers were lined up, and marketing campaigns were being planned. But at the last minute, Dodge decided to focus their resources on full-size trucks and SUVs instead. They figured the profit margins were better on big trucks. So why bother with small ones? That decision looks pretty short-sighted now, doesn't it? While Dodge was ignoring the compact truck market, Toyota was building the Tacoma into a legend, and Ford was preparing to bring back the Ranger. The M80 could have been Dodge's entry into that profitable market, but instead, it became another what-if story. Number 5. The AWD Hellcat test mule. Here's one that'll make modern Mopar fans weep. Dodge actually built and tested an all-wheel drive Hellcat prototype that would have been the ultimate muscle car for guys who live in snow country. Imagine having 707 horsepower and the ability to use all of it, regardless of weather conditions. The AWD Hellcat wasn't just a pipe dream, it was a fully functional test mule that underwent extensive development. The engineers figured out how to route that supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi's power to all 4 wheels without compromising the car's character. This would have been the muscle car that could embarrass Audis and BMWs on their own turf. The performance numbers were staggering. 0 to 60 times that would have made supercars nervous, quarter-mile times that would have dominated drag strips, and the kind of all-weather capability that would have made this the ultimate daily driver for performance enthusiasts. But Dodge decided the market wasn't there. They figured Hellcat buyers wanted rear-wheel drive purity, and adding all-wheel drive would complicate production and increase costs. So the project was shelved, and those of us in the snowbelt were left to dream about what could have been. Number 4. The Charger Demon 170. If you thought the regular Demon was insane, wait until you hear about the Demon 170. This was Dodge's attempt to build the most powerful production car in American history. And they actually succeeded. They just never had the guts to sell it. The Demon 170 was essentially a Charger body wrapped around a completely re-engineered version of the supercharged Hemi. We're talking about power numbers that would have made Bugatti engineers nervous. This wasn't just about horsepower though. The entire car was re-engineered to handle the massive power increase. The suspension was completely redesigned. The brakes were upgraded to aircraft-grade components. And the interior featured racing-inspired appointments that would have made this feel like a street-legal race car. The prototype underwent extensive testing at professional racetracks, and the results were mind-blowing. But Dodge got scared.
They worried about liability issues, insurance costs, and the potential for bad publicity if someone got hurt. The Demon 170 was deemed too extreme for public consumption, so it was locked away in Dodge's secret facility where it remains to this day.
So it was locked away in Dodge's secret facility, where it remains to this day. Number 3. The Challenger ACR. Track-focused muscle cars are having a moment right now, but Dodge was ahead of the curve with the Challenger ACR prototype. This was their attempt to create a Challenger that could hang with the best track cars in the world. And from all accounts, they succeeded. The ACR featured aggressive aerodynamics that would have made this Challenger look like it belonged on a racetrack. We're talking about a massive rear wing, front splitter, and side skirts that weren't just for show. They actually generated real downforce at speed. Under the hood was a naturally aspirated version of the Hemi that was tuned for track work rather than straight-line acceleration. The suspension was completely redesigned with adjustable components that would have allowed owners to dial in the perfect setup for their local track. The interior was stripped down and focused with racing seats, a roll cage, and instrumentation that would have made this feel like a proper track weapon. This could have been Dodge's answer to the Shelby GT 350R and Camaro ZL11LE. But once again, Dodge decided the market wasn't there. They figured Challenger buyers wanted comfort and straight-line performance, not track capability. The ACR prototype was shelved, and Dodge missed their chance to compete in the track-focused muscle car market. Number 2. The Hellcat Hybrid Test Mule. Now, here's something that would have blown minds. A hybrid Hellcat that actually made more power than the regular version. Dodge built and tested a prototype that combined the supercharged Hemi with electric motors to create a powertrain that would have redefined what we think about hybrid performance cars. This wasn't some eco-friendly compromise. This was a full-blown assault on the laws of physics. The electric motors filled in the gaps in the Hemi's power delivery, creating a torque curve that was essentially flat from idle to redline. The acceleration numbers were so ridiculous that Dodge was worried about tire technology catching up. The hybrid system also allowed for all-electric operation at low speeds, meaning you could cruise through neighborhoods silently before unleashing hell on the highway. It was the best of both worlds. Environmental responsibility when you needed it, and earth-shaking performance when you wanted it. But the timing wasn't right. This was before hybrid performance cars became mainstream, and Dodge worried that their traditional customer base wouldn't understand the technology. The project was canceled, and Dodge missed their chance to be pioneers in the hybrid performance market. Number 1. The Gen 6 Viper prototypes. And finally, we come to the most heartbreaking entry on this list. The next generation Viper prototypes that were built but never released. These weren't just updated versions of the existing Viper. These were completely reimagined supercars that would have taken the fight directly to Ferrari and Lamborghini. The Gen 6 Viper prototypes featured advanced materials, cutting-edge aerodynamics, and a completely redesigned version of the legendary V10 engine. The power numbers were staggering, but more importantly, the cars were engineered to be more refined and user-friendly than previous Vipers. The styling was evolutionary but dramatic, clearly a Viper, but updated for the modern era. The interior featured luxury appointments that would have made this a legitimate grand touring car, not just a track weapon. These prototypes underwent extensive testing and development, and everyone who drove them came away impressed. But corporate politics killed the project. When Fiat took control of Chrysler, they decided that the Viper competed too directly with Ferrari and didn't fit their vision for the Dodge brand. The prototypes were locked away, and the Viper name was retired. This decision still stings today. The Viper was America's supercar, our answer to the Europeans, who claimed we couldn't build sophisticated performance machines. The Gen 6 prototypes proved them wrong, but we'll never get to see them on the road. So there you have it, gentlemen. 10 incredible machines that Dodge built, but never had the courage to release. From affordable sports cars to hybrid supercars, these prototypes represent some of the most innovative thinking in automotive history. The frustrating thing is that many of these decisions look completely wrong in hindsight. The compact truck market that Dodge abandoned with the M80, Toyota and Ford are making billions there now. The affordable sports car market they ignored with the Copperhead, Mazda has owned it for decades. The hybrid performance market they were scared of. Every manufacturer is rushing to get into it now. But that's the thing about the automotive industry. It's full of what-ifs and could-have-beens. These 10 cars represent the roads not taken, the chances not seized, and the innovations that were ahead of their time. The good news is that some of these ideas are finally seeing the light of day. The new electric muscle cars from Dodge show that they're finally ready to embrace new technology. The rumored return of compact trucks suggests they might be reconsidering that market. And who knows? Maybe someday we'll see some of these shelved ideas make a comeback. What do you think? Which of these 10 cars would you most want to see Dodge bring back? Drop a comment below and let me know which one you'd park in your garage. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into automotive history's biggest what-ifs, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more hidden gems to uncover. Until next time, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up.